Hi, I'm Jerry Costello, Superior Court Judge in Pierce County. I've known Ted since 1989, long time. I wanted to just say a couple things about him. He has many remarkable qualities. Most of them are positive. But what immediately comes to mind is he's a family man, and he's invested in his community. Another thing that's really valuable about Ted is he's got a tremendous work ethic. And the third thing that comes to my mind is he's a man of integrity. Ted is, I don't think he could be deceitful or dishonest even if he were really trying to do that. He's a person that when he tells you something, he's going to be candid and it's going to be honest. Whether or not it's accurate is another issue. but Ted's integrity and honesty is perhaps why he's a lousy poker player. But seriously, the citizens of the community are going to be really pleased that you've elected him to this position. He's going to serve the community well. Congratulations. Thank you. All right. We ready to do the oath?
Ready.
Okay. Please repeat after me or raise your right hand. I, Ted Jackson, do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Ted Jackson, do solemnly swear or affirm
that I am a citizen of the United States and state of Washington,
that I am a citizen of the United States and the state of Washington,
that I am legally qualified to assume the office of
and that I'm legally qualified to assume the office of
Port of Allyn, Commissioner, District Number 2,
Port of Allyn Commissioner, District Number 2,
that I will support the Constitution and laws
that I will support the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Washington,
and the state of Washington,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of this office
discharge the duties of this office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to thank everybody that's here supporting me. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't met my wife Dana, my oldest daughter Megan, and Ashley, my youngest daughter, it really means a lot to me to see the faces in this room. Some of you have known us since we moved into the community, and I really do appreciate it very much. So I'm all ears. I have a lot to learn. I know I'll get a lot of help, but I could always use your help. I'd just like to say a word about Jerry. Him and I have done some fishing trips together. Some of them have been pretty laughable. Some of them up in Alaska have been a blast. And every year he asks me to go on a big fishing trip where I don't know where it is, but one of these days I hope to find out. So I can't thank you enough for coming all the way out here. I really appreciate it. So, anyways, if you'd like to stay for the meeting, Dana and I will put something together and invite everybody out when it warms up a little bit. So, and Cassie, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. But thank you very, very much again. I appreciate it. Really do. So.
Somebody.
Well, according to my clock, it is now 6 o'clock, so if you would join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much and welcome. And Ted, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Ted.
Thank you.
Okay, the first item on our agenda is the consent items. I'm not sure the proper procedure. We do have minutes for the regular meeting, September 4th, with a change. It was requested that we add to, under new business, tabled item, public input on a potential management agreement, and we tabled it due to Commissioner Cooper being absent. So I'd like to add those. Other than that, has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes.
So I would move that we approve the minutes with the corrections.
Do I hear a second?
A second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Action items 4, A, B, and C. Do I hear a motion?
Would move that we approve action items A, B, and C.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Now we go to commissioner reports. Commissioner Cooper.
Oh, I did miss the meeting last month because of a death in the family, an emergency trip to LA. We're all getting better over that. I did attend the second special meeting, the port meeting, and I did attend a EDC retreat, which was at the North Mason Library, which we've been asking for something in North Mason for quite a while, and we finally got an event in North Mason, and it was a retreat at the library.
Great.
The main topics there are the hiring of the new executive director for the EDC and kind of a governance direction for the board and now and into the future. If we want to add people, delete people, things like that. And it'll all be up on their website here shortly. And that was it for the month for me.
Great. Well, Commissioner Jackson, I don't know if you want to say
No, there-
anything yet.
I think my big event was 15 minutes ago, so I have nothing else to add.
Mine's pretty simple. The 2 port meetings, December 4th, December 13th. December 14th had a Peninsula Regional Transportation Organization, and I have 2 items. I don't know if you want to spend time on those now, or I can wait till old business to give you a little information about those, about PRTPO. So I can wait. You want to?
Go ahead.
Okay. Wait, or do it now. Let me tell
Oh,
you.
dear.
Remember me mentioning about the travel demand model. It is a program that, I'm going to try to make this really brief, but everybody has it's a presentation that Jim Rogers, he's from Kitsap County Public Works. PRTPO is the one that provided the money to do this travel demand model. And what this does, it's a program that tells how much, it's in Transcad. I'm going to briefly go through this. ArcMap, which I don't know what program that is, and it shows all the model stats on how many roadway lengths, how many lane miles, 1,320 analysis zones, and it also does this 2016 base year for population and employment. And it covers, this one covers 7 counties. Now PRTPO is usually, it's 4. And Grays Harbor isn't always in PRTPO, but they did all that. They have 2 partial counties, Pierce and Thurston. That was to have the connectivity. It gives the statistics about roadway lengths and how many lane miles, and then there's all kinds of really small print statistics for you to read. The cool thing about this that he showed us is that they can do transportation analysis. That means they can set up and if you do want to get this, they have road closure examples, for instance. And here's just one little quick thing. On this, it gives numbers that you see on both sides of the lane. One of those is going one way, how much traffic was going one way at these particular intersections. The number on the other side is how much is going the other way. In this travel demand model, if you want to close a road, it will show you where the traffic will automatically go. So this is going to be really, really helpful for not just businesses, but developments, potential model uses is disaster planning, predict traffic impacts on large developments, new road construction or improvements, road closures, corridor studies, sub-area plans, regional planning, so it's money well worth it. And I think this grant was about $10,000 for them to do that. So there's that. PRTPO also, again, is a legislative, was originally started by the legislation, and they're putting out these brochures that they're going to hand out to the legislators. So here's a copy of those. This is what we want to see and what has been done for with your monies. You want to take a look at those? Look?
Sure.
Okay. I think that's it. Larry, you're on.
All right, water system issues. At long last, Northwest Water Systems has submitted our water system plan to the state.
Yay.
Also, we've been assigned a new case manager from the Department of Health, and I will touch base with her again this coming week, see if she has any input on the plan. As far as our water system franchise agreement with Mason County that's up for renewal this year is concerned, I've finally gotten a schedule from Loretta Swanson at Mason County Public Works. She's targeting a hearing date of February 20th for the county commissioners to consider executing the renewed franchise agreement. The tentative timeline, and the operative word here is tentative, is as follows. Today, a draft franchise is presented to the port for review, although I received nothing.
Okay.
Port and County January 29, Port and County staff and legal review complete, agree to final franchise agreement. February 5th, final franchise agreement presented to the Port Commissioners for approval. February 12th, county staff briefs the county commissioners on the agreement and requests board to set a hearing date. 20th, the board sets a hearing date. March 13th, hearing and action on the franchise agreement. And that's as far as we go there. In order to process the renewal, the county will need the following: a franchise fee of $300 made payable to Mason County Public Works, which is in the vouchers you've already approved tonight. The names should be included on the franchise agreement. For example, will the board chair or the executive director be executing on behalf of the commissioners? So we need to decide that. Evidence of insurance, which we already have. A map of our service area and electronic, either CAD or PDF files of our existing system. As I've noted for the past several months, there are so many water franchise agreements up for renewal at once. Public Works is trying to package all the smaller systems into groups for the county commissioners to approve as one agenda item, rather than have an agenda item at the commission meetings for each individual system. At this point, we're just waiting our turn. We've already obtained the updated evidence of coverage insurance from Honduras, and the county is supposed to send us their required form, so we're good to go for the moment. Criminalization of marina rules. I'm still working with Andrea Bradford from Foster Pepperott to get this in front of the Mason County Commissioners. She's been in communication with Tim Whitehead from the prosecutor's office and spoken with County Clerk Diane Zorn. Ms. Zorn sent me an email about scheduling a joint briefing with us and the county sometime after the 20th of this month. Ms. Bradford sent the county what we hope is the final draft of the ordinance this morning. However, according to the email I received from Ms. Zorn, the budget process had monopolized most of the commissioners' time in December, which is why they claim this project has been delayed. She stated in that budget, each department suffered cuts, which means services will be reduced. According to Mr. Whitehead, there needs to be more discussion between the county and the port related to taking on additional demands with less staff. I've also had some communications with Commissioner Drexler on this same issue. She's concerned that adopting the entire document could potentially cause some of those kind of issues for the county, so I've agreed to them adopting just the parts that constitute theft of service, not paying for launching, parking, moorage, etc. Based on our communications, I believe she'll be agreeable to that. The other issues in the original rules are more like behavioral issues for users of our facilities and don't meet the standards for any kind of criminal behavior. We already police these ourselves with little or no problem. To be bluntly honest, I have some serious heartburn about Mr. Whitehead's response. We're not asking much from the county at all. Have a documented history of needing very little service from the sheriff's office. Plus, we took our direction from the county commissioners on how to proceed with this and have incurred a couple of $1,000s of costs by having our attorney prepare the ordinance in the county's legal language at the insistence of the county commissioners. On top of that, if the former county clerk had done her job and got this on the commission agenda when it was originally submitted over 2.5 years ago, this wouldn't be an issue now. Also, based on our track record of only one service request from the sheriff after having assumed this ordinance was already in place for the past 2.5 years, coupled with our willingness to have the county collect and keep any fines levied for violations, the county's budget situation shouldn't have any bearing on this whatsoever. Finally, if a situation arose where service was needed from the sheriff and it wasn't available and we didn't have the legal authority to deal with the situation, the county could be opening itself up to some serious liability. Approving this is very simply in everyone's best interest. Endurus Risk Assessment. I met with Joe Davis, Endurus's risk management officer, on the afternoon of December 14th. Spent several hours with him and gave him a complete tour of all of our facilities, including the water tank, wells, both boat launches, docks, and the parks. He could only find one small item that was problematic. The surface of the North Shore launch ramp dock had a couple of the non-skid shingles that started to come loose. I done replaced them the following day. Other than that, he said we got a gold star for the condition of our facilities, noting that ours are in excellent condition, especially compared to many others he sees. He also gave me some information on services that Endurus offers as part of our coverage, including educational opportunities that are available to us. I'm studying those with an eye towards doing just that. I'll have more information on that in the near future. Tree damage. We had a poplar tree by the shop blow down over the weekend and damage the arbor. I called Endurus to report it and see what insurance coverage we may have. They got back to me late this afternoon and said none of it's covered, but they want pictures. Don can rebuild the arbor, and we called Frank Merrill to cut up the tree and haul it away. Since this was an emergency situation, we didn't need to go out to bid on it, and he's on the MRSC Small Works roster. Anyway, cost is right at $500. Email list. We've been compiling an email list for notifying residents of our district about meetings and things like the open house for the comprehensive scheme. Posted this on Facebook and in several Mason County groups on Facebook there several times, and will continue to do so. We've also reached out to the local news media, the Chamber, EDC, the Hub, and the Salmon Center. While most organizations won't share their email list, they all have been willing to send a note to their list with information about how to subscribe to ours. This has helped as we've gotten a number of requests from those sources, and I sent a press release out about it, how to describe to all the local media today, and asked everyone to send a reminder to their lists as well. BIAS software upgrade. The January 1 conversion to BIAS is done, although we're still in the hands-on learning phase according to BIAS. As we do specific tasks in BIAS, they're there to answer our questions and walk us through the individual processes as needed. WPPA trustee and alternative. We need to appoint a new trustee and alternate for WPPA now that Jean Farmer is no longer a commissioner. She was our trustee. This is on your agenda under new business. Switch from iPads to Surface tablets or Windows laptops. I'd like to get your input on changing from our current iPads to Microsoft Surface tablets or Windows laptops. As you all know, I'm a big fan of Apple products personally, but I've come to the conclusion that a Windows-based product might be more efficient and user-friendly, since all of you are more familiar with Windows than the Apple OS, and all have Android-based mobile devices. Plus, there have been 2 new generations of iPads since we bought these, and another is scheduled before year-end. Surface tablets start at about $800 and go up, but we can get HP or Dell, which is what we use in the office, laptops that will do the job at either Costco or on Amazon Prime for around $600 each. Also, surplusing the iPads will recoup some of the replacement costs and will reduce our monthly Verizon bill because we won't need cell service for the laptops. This is on the agenda for discussion as well. Comprehensive scheme of harbor improvements. As you know, we've set January 22nd as a date for the open house, workshop meeting, and public hearings on the plan to gather citizen input. We've also developed a survey for additional input, and we'll put a link to it on our website and our Facebook page. We're also publicizing it on Facebook, as well as asking the Chamber, the Hub, the EDC, and the Salmon Center to send the links to the survey to their email lists. We looked at doing a printed and mailed survey, but since direct mail has a well-documented return rate of 3% or less, we didn't believe the return justified the cost of printing and postage, that we will get at least as many responses electronically as we would otherwise. And just to give you an idea of the size of the list, the mailing labels, you know how they come in sheets, there's 26 pages of labels. So there's, I forget what, about 50 on a page or something like that. Port of Duato. At the last meeting, I was directed to reach out to the Port of Duato and perhaps attend their next commission meeting. The day after our meeting, I began attempting to contact the Port Commission chair via phone, left several messages over more than a week's time, and until late Friday afternoon had received no response whatsoever. He contacted me on Friday around 4:30, offered to get together for lunchtime sometime over the New Year's weekend. I responded with several alternatives as for time, including going to Tacoma to meet him sometime this week if that would make it easier for him. However, I've had no response to those messages. After consulting with Scott, we decided, all things considered, perhaps this isn't the best place to put our efforts right now, so we withdrew our offer to help and will monitor the situation. Meeting with Kitsap Bank. I'm meeting with Jeff Reynolds and Allyn Crane of Kitsap Bank on Thursday to learn what they will need from us in terms of financial and other information should we ever want to use them to finance any future projects. I think being proactive in that area could be beneficial, and not having this information in place and being ready to pull the trigger if needed was a factor in us not being able to bid on that Highway 3 property up for auction a couple of months ago. Allyn Crane is an expert in municipal finance, and Jeff Reynolds is one of the bank's commercial lenders and someone I know and have personally worked with in the past. 2018 budget. I expect some revenue and expense changes to this budget, so once we get the final numbers, I'll ask you to approve an amended budget in the next month or so. Wayfinding signs. Commissioner Cooper asked me to coordinate this with Dr. Brian Peterson, who's handling this community project. He's here tonight to give us an update. Public record software. I met 3 times with a potential vendor that believes he may have a potential solution that fits our budget. I brought a programmer with him to one of the meetings to nail down exactly what we need so they can get us a price. Still waiting for more information. I reached out to them a couple of times last week, but just got voicemail. Try again this week. New public records requirements. I received an email today from Steve DiGiulio saying one of the new requirements of the Public Records Act is to maintain a log and tracking progress for all public records requests. They strongly encourage us to establish and maintain a formal process, even for apparently informal Public Records Act exchanges. While we have a strong interest in transparency and responsiveness, for avoidance of complications, Mr. DiGiulio suggests we comply with these formalities. Enterprise for Equity Entrepreneur classes. We just got the word today that the grant for this has been reactivated for 2018. We will once again partner with the Chamber and EDC on these. Sweetwater Park. I've not heard anything from Dana Rosenbach from the North Mason School District concerning the letter we requested from DOE. I see no reason to continue reporting on this until there's something new. Trail Project. Talked to Pat McCullough of Engineering Services Associates about us being the lead agency on this project, as he suggested at our December 13th meeting. I told them that as much as we'd like to, it would have to be with the caveat that it not cost us any money, because we don't have a budget for that. He's certain we can actually generate some income as project managers, so he's setting up a meeting for us, Commissioner Netherland, and the Salmon Center to explore how we could possibly make this work. Running out the small office. We're continuing to promote this on Facebook and have made the Chamber and EDC aware of it. I've also asked them to promote it to their email list as well. We've had a number of inquiries, including 2 last week on Facebook, but no bookings yet. Skateboard park, this is still on my radar, but I haven't had a lot of time to put in on it. I do have a call into Leslie Reynolds Taylor, who I worked with on the one at South Kitsap Regional Park. She was the main driver of the project, and I was involved in the fundraising effort as part of Rotary and the city. Coder Dojo classes like the skateboard park, this too has become a bit of a back burner project. Charles Keating and his wife are focused on the one they run, but have said they will try to find us cementers that are required, as well as someone to actually take charge of the program and run it. All we'll have to do is provide the location. Oyster House, we had a local resident come in out of the blue last week, wrote a donation check for $1,000. And finally, Port of Greatview groundbreaking. Port of Greatview is scheduled to have the groundbreaking ceremony for the new boat ramp tomorrow at 10 a.m. You're all invited, and Congressman Kilmer has confirmed he will attend as well. I emailed the invitations to you a week or so ago. I intend to be there to represent us in case none of you are available. And that is my report.
Thank you, Larry. Next on the agenda is the security report. Travis?
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, being the holiday season, the nightly traffic around here has been a little heavier than normal for the weather conditions.
Indeed.
So a few more late night people enjoying our holiday lights. Yeah, all very cordial. So I think we're all right. We had an incident beginning of the month. Somebody reported the boat that's been anchored out front, the Scamper, to be sunken, according to the 911 call I got. And I raced down here, and of course it was a listing boat. It wasn't a sunken boat. So they at least knew the difference, and we were able to find the owner's information in the office and get that so that they could have the Coast Guard call her about it, and maybe something would move. But not much has been done, unfortunately.
Actually, on Friday...
Did she finally come down?
The owner hired somebody to come and
Yeah, they pumped it out.
they pumped it out.
Okay.
Great.
It said
500
level.
gallons.
Sounds leveled out. I hadn't noticed it. Sometimes it's too dark when I get down here because it doesn't do me much good in the light to patrol such places.
Indeed.
But yeah, other than that, I think that phone call from the Sheriff's Department and or the Coast Guard might have really got her moving.
Excellent.
That's about it.
Okay.
Thanks, Travis.
Thank
You
you,
bet.
Travis.
Thank you.
That's great. Good. Dr. Brian Peterson, you're up.
Okay. I did bring you, these aren't total final pictures, but they're all a little different, if you want to pass those through. They're all a little different based on where they'll be located, but those are the wayfinding signs. There's 4 locations to each sign. They're all thematically replicated with the Belfair logo. So we're a little bit behind, but it really hasn't mattered because the road really wasn't done. And I would keep touching base with Randy Hansen of Hansen Signs, and he was pretty swamped during the summer anyway. So now we've just kind of reconnected in the last month, and I had another meeting with him today to finalize some little tweaks and changes, including making sure they put Port of Allyn over your little boat launch piece, and so they are they're off and running. So
Do you know about when they're going to be?
he didn't tell me that. He's going to go through and look at the stuff, the availability of the stuff he has to order, and the metal and that kind of thing. And but I'm anticipating 6 weeks maybe. He's going to just start whipping them out. He's got 5. He's actually got 7, but 2 others by other independent businesses that are doing it to just kind of fit in. They're more like the school and the Salmon Center, where they would be more applicable, not just an individual business, but still a community-based business. But these wayfinding signs, there'll be 5 of them to start with, and I'm excited about it. It's come together well, and we thank you guys for jumping in and supporting the project and supporting purchasing one. So we wouldn't have been able to do it without that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian.
It's exciting.
Getting that, yeah.
It's very
It's gonna
exciting.
look good.
Yeah, plus we've got We've got the logoed benches. Keith is done with the logoed waste receptacles as well. So you'll start to see a little more thematic replication through the community when we start placing those and getting them all out.
Yeah,
And again, I don't anticipate that'll necessarily take place the minute we get them, but I think over the next 2 or 3 months, you'll start seeing a lot of this stuff get out on the streetscape or through the community, and you'll start seeing it.
excellent.
So create a sense of place. It's
Yeah,
exciting.
That's wonderful,
Yeah.
consistency.
Any specific questions on that for us, or
None for me right now.
no?
Scott?
Okay.
No.
Let me know.
Great.
Congrats, Commissioner Jackson. Let me know if there is something else, and Larry's reached out to me a couple times, and so I'm more than willing to keep feeding info or answering questions, and just kind of excited about the project. So it's going to be nice to get that behind us and move on to the next one.
Great.
All right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's wonderful. Okay, we're now to new business. We have, the first item is approved changes to the employee policies and procedures manual on pages 9 and 10, which is the state mandated changes to the sick leave policies.
I printed, or I sent you all pages 9 and 10 with the changes in it. I didn't see any point in sending you the whole manual.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I saw it and reviewed it, and probably will use it for my own business. It was great,
Well, it's, pretty much boilerplate from the
Yes.
state.
yeah. So if you've had a chance to review it, do you want a motion on that one particularly then?
Yes.
Okay. I need to hear.
I would make a motion that we adopt policy and procedure for the leave policy, page 9 and 10 of our book.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Next item is discussion of the appointment to the Mason Transit Board of Directors. They asked us to have somebody from up here,
Yeah, I've got
so. You
the
have
letter.
someone?
Did you send the letter?
I think it came out from the transit.
Yeah, they mailed it to me as the past board chair, but I'm doing the EDC, Judy does, 2 or 3 others. We were hoping that that was something you could pick up for us.
I believe they meet on Thursdays.
Do they meet on Thursdays?
Thursdays at 4:30, that would be difficult.
Would be tough.
But, I mean, I can look and I can contact them and double check. and see
Okay,
that.
if you're not able to, I can make Thursdays. Thursday's actually one of my less busier days.
Yeah, that would be, Thursdays are tough days.
I can throw in my hat with that if we can't, because I deal with them through
Sure.
PRTPO, but,
Do you have that letter handy?
Yes, I thought that it,
I didn't bring it. I brought one. Okay, brief.
Could I interject something real quick? Those letters were mailed to all elected officials.
Officials, right.
In the whole county, not just the board district.
Right,
So I just wanted you to be
yeah,
aware.
it did say dear elected officials, so it wasn't
Yeah.
specifically to me.
Commissioner Drexler had asked us specifically if we could appoint somebody. But maybe what I should do is check with her tomorrow and see if they have appointed everybody since we didn't respond right away.
probably a good idea, because they, in a letter, it said to respond before the 26th of December,
Yeah.
so. But I know that they can always, there's usually always vacancies, so. So do you want to appoint anybody just in case, or you want to wait?
It's up to you.
You want to wait, see what they say? Let's find out if they've already appointed somebody.
Okay.
Well, I think they would allow us to come either way.
Sure,
Ted needs to find out if it's gonna work with the schedule. And
Correct.
I mean, I would be okay with asking Judy to attend, because 4:30 is during the workday for me as well, and maybe you could move forward with that, Judy, and if Ted finds out he can make those meetings, we could make a change.
sure, I can do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Do I need a motion?
So I'd
Yeah.
make a motion to appoint Judy Scott to the Mason Transit Board of Directors as long as there's still an opening.
Second?
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
so moved. Okay, now.
Thanks, Judy.
Sure. Discussion and appointment of the Washington Public Ports Association trustee and alternate trustee. Now, again, as Larry had said, that Jean had been the trustee before, so, I'm not supposed to make any motions or anything. Might be a good idea for you, then, Ted. Washington
It's-
Public Ports Association
It's
is,
a pretty small commitment.
yeah,
They meet like once a year.
Be more than happy to.
Yeah, and it's at a WPPA meeting, so.
yeah.
So I'm the,
Annual or the spring?
Pardon?
Is that the annual or the spring?
Yeah. Usually both, actually.
Yeah.
Might be two of them. The annual is during the wintertime, usually November, December. Spring is in May,
Okay,
April, generally May.
okay.
So, do I need a motion?
I would
To
move
appoint.
that Commissioner Jackson be appointed to the WPPA
Trustee,
trustee position for 2018 and on.
I can second that. So, I second it, so all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved.
And we need an alternate.
You want to do that,
Yeah,
Scott?
I'll do the alternate.
Need a motion for that.
Okay. You want to make the motion to
I make a motion,
have Scott Cooper as?
Commissioner Scott Cooper be the alternate for the WPPA trustee.
I'll second that. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So moved, aye. Okay, now, like you had said about switching from the iPads to the Microsoft Surface tablets.
Or laptops.
Or, okay,
Now, when I started looking at the price of the Surfaces, and I was thinking, maybe we ought to just look at laptops. Because Surfaces start at $7.99 and go up. And what you get for $7.99 isn't very much. And for $600, you can get a pretty decent laptop, so. But it's up to you guys. Excuse me, I don't know how you feel about these things. I mean, all of you have expressed some frustration at different times to me, so I thought I'd just throw it out there for discussion.
You were telling me the benefit of the Surface was to be on 365 versus the
Yeah.
Apple
yeah.
application.
You're on Windows 10, we're already on Office 365, which has everything in the cloud for us, and that would automatically dovetail with that, so.
I personally would not want another laptop. I'd have to line them up in my office at home. This is nice because it's small and it's portable and you can handhold it. And I would either be for going to the Surface or for keeping these. And I mean, mine's going to need to be repaired because we're spending some money on it. But I understand the expense, and I'm concerned with the expense. What do we pay for the Verizon portion?
We're paying, what's it, 136 a month?
136, yeah.
A month?
For
That's
everything.
for
Now that's your 3 lines of service, my cell phone, and the line of service for the pay machine.
so taking these off, how much would that save? Do you have that broken down?
I want to say about $90 a month.
Could we-
We're right near there.
So 90, so every 6 months we're paying for one?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I'm pretty flexible with whatever's easier for everybody and cheaper and efficient.
I mean, you all know
You know.
I'm an Apple guy, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't mind
You
the
know, it doesn't-
iPad, it's just,
But I just thought I'd throw that out there because, like I said, you all have expressed some frustration over time, so.
and what was the issue with unlocking Ted's?
Ted's.
Oh, we didn't have the password to it, and I had to end up taking it to the Apple store and having them unlock it. And I had to jump through about 8 hoops to prove that it was okay for them to unlock it for me. So, but we got it done.
Well, being that yours needs repaired, I mean, I'm all for trying to just
Well,
be
what's
efficient.
the matter with yours?
Well, I mean,
Just
it's
the
it's not
charging issue?
charging, so,
Is it charging now?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
it is.
I think what happened is your cord went bad. That's, and the cords are about $10
So for
for good cords.
these have been through 2 upgrades, there's 2 new versions of the
Yeah.
iPad. And we would, how much is a new iPad?
About the same as a Surface. And it depends how you configure them. The more stuff you put on them and the more RAM you put in them, the more they cost.
I'd be fine with my iPad for another year, maybe
Okay.
look at it next year.
Yeah,
Okay?
actually, me too, I'm kind of used to it, so it'll be fine.
Okay.
Something to keep in our memory banks, though.
And I know this is your first time with this, so.
No, I've used these before. I was just
Okay.
getting into them, so.
Great,
All right.
that's good. Okay, good. Now we're at public comment, so great. Hi, Jeff.
Jeff Carey. A couple things. One is, I think I was at that port meeting. I didn't notice my name in the minutes.
Was that the 13th,
No, the 4th.
the 4th?
Yeah. Because I remember I asked whether you're going to put the meeting on the video, on the
Oh, yeah.
comprehensive plan, which you did. And I think I was there. You can look at the tape.
Okay,
I'll either
so
be
you
there or I
weren't-
won't be there.
You weren't listed on that? I guess we better,
I'll have to check the sign-in sheet.
okay.
Well, that might have been it too. Who knows?
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure I was there. And I appreciate having the comprehensive, harbor plan improvements on, being recorded, because that allowed me to watch it a couple days later and see everything.
Yeah.
And I have a couple things to add to that, but I'll wait till I get to that. But I appreciate the port doing that. Want to remind you from the aspect of the tip cap, transportation improvement projects for the county. They have that consultant working through things in Belfair, and there are portions of it looking at economic improvements, so those that impact economic improvements related to roads and what have you. So I think the port needs to be, one way or another, at least say I don't have time, or something to let them know that at least, that the port's interested, even if we don't have the time to get to it.
Is Sarah Black still doing that? Is that what
I
you're
don't know
talking
exactly what it
about?
is,
or-
but yeah, it's part of that SCJ,
Okay.
I believe. But if you need to talk to somebody, talk to Loretta Swanson at the
Oh,
county,
yeah, okay.
because they've asked, about, us members, talking to the public and talking to, agencies and what have you. And I said, I brought it up a couple of times, I'll keep bringing it up, and I realize things happen, things get time-wise, so. But there are projects, and being that the county's been kind of using some diversion of the road funds for things in the other general funds in the county, that's going to put the squeeze on projects down the line. So if there are things that are especially related to economic improvement, that's the tip cap has a number of different things. One's safety, and others, dealing with roads where there should be. Others is economic improvements, and the commissioners want to hear, the county commissioners want to hear from both tip cap and the ports and others about, where they see types of improvements or things that could help, or
What kind of economic improvements are you talking about?
it's
Is it just,
you have to look at the whole thing. In other
Okay.
words, some of it's just, could be nothing more than signaling through an intersection. In other words, if it's all messed up, those kind of things. Because they're looking at a number of, SCJs looking at some of the things happening in Belfair. But that kind of thing.
okay.
And I think the county is, I don't know the amount they set aside, but they are setting aside some funds for new roads. And some of that will go to UJs, or at least they've said, but it could be in the county also. So But again, those do have impacts as far as circulation as well as safety, so, but anyway, enough of that. So at least you get the idea. On the, your comprehensive plan, two things I'd like to see on it, or maybe it goes to one of the sub-items in there, but things dealing with the water system, because you have different things you've stated over the past, dealing like, with the washing water, or myself, or others, purveyors in the area, and or things that, the ports can do with water systems. So
So you're saying, go ahead, sorry.
well, I'm saying it needs to be, my opinion, it needs to be on the list to in other words, because if you're going to work towards things and potentially spend funds towards things, or people are going to contribute funds towards the port, that kind of has to all be tied in. It kind of looks weird if somebody like myself comes and says, okay, here's a project, we're going to do this part, we tie into you, or whatever. You got revenues coming, or, new customers coming, or what have you, and it's not on your comp plan.
Right,
So,
good point. Thanks.
and along the same line, and I don't know how to word it, and it might be helpful to talk to Loretta Swanson on this, is the issue like, with, roads where they see economic improvement. In other words, because the port's economic improvements, if they got a piece, and there's certain, I realize this port doesn't have a lot of funds to do it, but if there's partnering up or things that can help along the way, or make sense along the way, we should try to, match them up, work with the different agencies, so.
That's a good point, yeah.
And let's see, anything else? Nope, that's all for me.
Great, well, thank you, Jeff.
And again, thank you for the video, because that just
Been
made that
helpful.
whole, I could listen to the whole comp plan and everybody's comments, and then, take it all in. In some ways, it's actually better because I don't have any distractions. And I can stop you when I gotta do something, and then come back to you and restart you, so.
It has been great.
I mean, it's a luxury in one sense, but it's also a nice record, and if people really wanna, look at what really happened, it's there, so.
It's been great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Dell?
I really don't have anything.
Okay. Ken?
Thank you. Judy, Ken Van Busker. I live in Belfair. I read the article in the Kitsap Sun about the port's shift in focus towards recreation and tourism, I believe it was. And I looked through the December 13th minutes and noted that there was a rather lengthy discussion in the comprehensive scheme, and it was noted that trails and recreations are something that the public should weigh in on, and I fully agree with that. I also noted that you were going to have something on the agenda this evening about discussion about the newsletter or survey, but I don't see it on the agenda, so I guess.
It was mentioned in his executive director.
But it wasn't.
report.
It wasn't a topic of commissioner discussion,
Gotcha.
like I was under the impression it was going to be. But so I came prepared to talk about that a little bit, and I've been doing some research. There's 8,000 registered voters in the Port District. And if we're thinking about switching to a focus on recreation and tourism, I just want you to recall what happened with the Parks District when that went on the ballot. It didn't do real well. I'm glad to see that you're withdrawing your offer to help the Port of Duwato and focus elsewhere. And regarding the trail business to Belfair State Park, as I told you last month, the school is getting around. The trail has failed where that 5-year-old breach was. They're removing the bridge and they're going to try to fix it. So I think it's more important to get the Feller Trail fixed than it is to build a brand new trail down to Belfair State Park. So that's just food for thought. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken. Do you folks have anything to share? No. Great. Well, I'm glad you're here. It's wonderful.
I'd like to make a quick comment about the survey.
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Just doing some rough numbers on it. Mailing to the port, to every registered voter in the Port District would be around $2,500 by the time we get done with postage and printing. So I just want you to be aware of that.
Yeah, well, that's why we haven't done a lot before.
And we didn't budget it.
Yeah, that's why we haven't done that really before, but you did mention too that, we spent money on promotional stuff. We can actually recoup some of that money. When Bonnie did the survey for what Belfair wanted to see in Belfair, I can't remember exactly how much that cost, but again, it is correct. I think we had a 1% response. I'm not trying to say that we shouldn't. I think it's a great idea, but it is dollars and cents. So
My only point was that it was going to be on the agenda this evening, but it wasn't.
okay.
I think there's got to be a way to reach out to the voters.
Well, I agree with that because we aren't doing that enough. I mean, you can't do that enough, really. It's now with the social media, it makes it a little easier, but it's still difficult. Anything else for the good of the order? No? Are we done?
Move to adjourn?
Okay. Second?
Second.
So moved. Thank you very much. Welcome. Glad you were here.
It's not really meeting stuff.